Okay, welcome everybody back. This is round 2 of the Fukaru Sport GT race. It's crazy. We have a full lobby of 12 people today. We had a lot of last-minute entrants that came in and said they wanted to compete. Everybody that competed today made part-time. We're now in the middle of our parade lap. Our track today is Silverstone. I have gotten a lot of positive input from this track. I want to really thank the guy that made this exceptional. Today we start off from our last race with a 3-point tie with RPM, Montana, and Ricky. Bobby, you can see first place, third place, and sixth place is where they're sitting right now. We're going to see how that works out down the road. I expect this race to be a really, really competitive one. Even in testing today, it really looked like a barn burner, and with the amount of people that we have on this track. So look, yeah. So Shed ends up getting a little bit into the wall there. That's not good. He did second in qualifying today. Funny enough, out of the qualifying, like I said, the first one, everybody made it in. I was really impressed with the group and the way everything went. It was just a fun run one way or the other. So right now, I mean, the only person that's really GT 500 right now is going to be myself, which I raced the first race, and then I get to follow in for these guys. So so for the race, congratulations, guys. We're into round 2. Thank you for dialing in and tuning in with us. We are ready to go right now. Welcome to the race. We have RPM, who was dominant in his speed today. He's going to pile right in and take it right up with Montana. Montana did a really good time, but he didn't come in very well for the first round. I think it was just based on his starting position. I see some people around there already. We even had one Die Nasty, which was a new guy from the group here. Actually ended up with a ballista, and he replaced his car with a Fister Neon. So we got to follow that in. So let's see what we got here. We got third place here is Shed. Shed's bleeding off a little bit of time. Oh, way off the track for him. That's going to be a ding in points. And there's DeathPercepshun. Death was crushingly fast in the first race, but ended up suffering a crash early on, and that cost him big. So we're going to go over to Death real quick, who once again, he knows how to bring cars that look good. And that's the thing is that we got to appreciate him, guys. Really, you guys got to give a shout out. Only like 3 or 4 people gave us a shout out for the first race, and I was a little bit disappointed because I really thought you guys had a lot more in it for him. And here he goes again, bringing his A-game car, and I don't know, he even got the custom plate going on. I mean, if we're going to car show here, he's got the win. There's Ricky Bobby sneaking up in the 4th position. He is looking for another one. See, there's top 3 guys there. RPM. We're under the impression that he is the defending champion, and to be honest, I redid the whole website today, so I wasn't really focused on who was what and where, but I should have known because I saw him like 16 times. But we're under the impression he's the defending champion, and Ricky definitely wants to take that title away. Montana, who has countless times been a consistent racer, he may actually be the guy to see for this. We're going to have to pay attention. But Death, I always gave him credit. He was one of those guys that was always consistent with the races, always knew where he was at, and I really loved seeing him in races and seeing him being competitive. And it's really been fun to watch him go. I want to see him take a championship home. I really think he deserves one. It's just the question is this his year or is it not? And sometimes with these races, little mistakes add up, and that's something that usually gets him down the long run. So there's RPM is making some distance here. We're going to see where he lands at with his part time. That's a really, really fast time there. He is making some distance. We right now have the fight between Montana, and they're making the beauty of this track is it's straightaways. They're crystal clear, and the other thing is in aversion to the track that we used last, which was mostly changes in elevation and that kind of thing. This race is completely flat, and it's all based on a lot of straight line speed, and it's a different kind of race. So the car that people use for one may not work for others. I used the Coquette in both races, and I got the same time as everybody else. So it was interesting. Death is really knocking on Montana's door here. I would be shocked if he doesn't take this position away, but he's going to have to take it clean. Man, these guys look like they were up here by themselves, too. I want to see this fight going on, see if he can take his position away, and then go back and check out what happened to Ricky Bobby. We got some distance going on. Oh, there goes the pass, and he has him. SAS is gonna have to walk a little bit out of that turn. Let's see how he rolls with this. Okay, so he's pulled out that, and he's definitive here. So we're gonna drop back to Ricky Bobby. There we go, right at the bottom. 2 down. See what's happened to him. Oh, he's taking a big hit here. Emerald was one of the 145 guys. And we still see the 145s. Nobody's hit the 144, which was the par time. Funny enough. Oh, Ricky got a little tapped out there by Andrew. But it looked like it was a clean pass. So Ricky is bleeding off some positions here. Shed is knocking on his door. Shed was, it looks like Shed has really got it. He gets his car early on, and then he kind of settles into it, and then he starts gaining his positions back. I think he was second or third here. I remember the actual standings for the qualifying time. Here's Emerald. Emerald, another guy that has gone GT 500, and he has done exceptionally well. Really impressed with his. But we see some guys here really, went into Emerald there. Dead's coming up through the pack. He popped him. That's unfortunate. I got a big hit from behind. I don't know if that was from rough racing or whatnot, but we'll have to review the tail of the tape later on and see if a deduction of points has to be applied. Ricky has gone way down on his position there. That's going to hurt him. Let's see where he's at. Oh, 12th position. So he's got a ton of ground to make up in a track that everybody seems to be running right on the edge. So let's see. We're going to move back up to Montana, who seems to be rolling his 3rd position. You know, I do have a really good internet connection. I know it may not seem it, but look at that. Yeah, bleeding off some positions here. So let's look at the par as we come across. There's the 144s. A lot of 146s. When we're testing, everybody's doing 144s. Now that we're actually in the race, we're seeing a big difference. That's good for Death, though. Somebody who was taking advantage of this. Looks like he's going to gun down RPM. I don't know if he can get the time or if it's... How's he going to do it? But this could be potential here, and this could be a fight. And it'll be a good one if it is. He does have a little bit of distance to make up, so does Montana. little tricky area in here. That's the thing is if you can optimize your time in that little space, you can do a lot with it. And it's definitely worth it. And then here, this is that big, long, tons of power. You get to that first turn, and it's like, what's it going to do to you? You try to carry as much as you can through there. Let's see where Uncle Festus come. He did another good lap. And it looks like he is out by himself, off in the distance. And that's the other thing was with these very fast tracks. Looks like the Comet Retros and the Comet SRs have been the vehicles of choice today. Let's go back to Dynasty, see how he is. He was the guy that ended up picking the wrong car for the race, and I guess he was going to pick the Fister Neon, but it looks like he decided to go with a different car to run his race. I don't think it's helped him very much, but it's getting him there, and he's got a nice license plate, so that's good. Team 92, Chris, is that correct? New guys tonight. It's really cool. Oh, look at that. How many times did you see one of those racing? That's good stuff. The Banshee is one of those cars that I would really like to have in real life. It's just so worth it to say you had it. So here's Rhyme, and with Shed coming up on him, looks like he's got some time to make up, and there's some spreaded distance. So we're going back to SAS real quick to see how he's doing. Oh yeah, he's got a ton of distance that's made between these two guys. So we're gonna. There we go. All right, so they passed the time there. Let's see, 144. RPM got a big ding in the last race for his. I mean, that 144.065. Look at that, right on, and he's definitely faster. Almost a half second faster. But you can guarantee, I almost hope that I can guarantee that RPM is not going to look forward to getting himself a 3-point deduction from the last race that made him fall from first into a 3-way tie for the very, very first race. But he's already done one where he came over the edge of the track, which is going to be a deduction in points. Not good. But he's doing a good job of keeping it together now, which is what's important, to keep the faster DeathPercepshun in the rearview mirror. Each lap is about a minute. So was it a minute 44 seconds was the fastest, which means this race was about 10 laps. It's going to be a lot longer than what we're used to. Most of the races we do take about 10 to 20 minutes. Really kind of settle into where we want to do with this new season, because it's completely different than what we've ever done before. But it's made the races genuinely a lot more competitive. But guys like RPM have mastered. There's RPM off the track again. But Emerald just offered to First Through Fourth to crash so that they can move through the field. So where's Andrew Shea? We're going to see Andrew. Let's see how far. Andrew, I don't know if you guys have seen before. Andrew is an old school racer in our organization. Always love having him. Sent him out an invite last second, and he actually showed up right at the end. It looks like he is trying to reel in Montana, and he's definitely somebody that can do it. That's a really old Super right there that would really. Oh, I'm sorry, Super Jester that would really like to show its true colors and win that. So besides that, we got to go back to Emerald, who was in a little bit of a battle earlier today. So a lot of people are really wondering why their cars are slow, and I will tell you, let's get back over to DeathPercepshun here, because if he takes first, I want to be there. And then once we do that, they're talking about their time. So we're going to do something, and you guys are showing this earlier about how the lap times go. So I want to give you a general idea of what happened. So when we did the testing, 144 was the score. Like, everybody did 144s. So here we see, again, consistency is the key to winning any race, especially when it's a race like this where consistency is the only rule. If you see one Montana doing a 145, then Andrew Shea doing a 144, and then Emerald, who was having problems, Emerald and Deadpool and Shed, who did 144s originally, now doing 146s, having problems getting up there, and sometimes they get a little bit worried about, ooh, nice little tap there he gives him, but no direct pressure. Ricky Bobby doing a 145. Those times don't mean much, but when it comes to the long term, I mean, we're sitting here thinking, what is it? I mean, you saw that .065 to a 0.5 of RPM. Look at how that's, after a while, that begins to add up. And that's going to be one of those things of saying that if you did 44 to a 46, that's 1 second a lap you're losing to the leaders, and that's 1 second that you're not going to be able to make up, and you can't go faster than the par. So you got to hope that the guy in front of you is less consistent than you are, and that really is the trick. And the thing is you'll see, especially with runs like this, you'll see these guys kind of meander their way to the front, if you will, slowly start taking a position, and then you'll see somebody make a mistake. I mean, the thing is, and I know I say it at every race, and I apologize, but the word attrition comes into play. It's the idea that after a while of doing a certain amount of races, there's fatigue that starts to set in, and those fatigues, like that right there, becomes a mistake, and there you go. DeathPercepshun takes the lead. Do that mistake. Now, he's made a mistake there. Is RPM going to capitalize, or is he going to try to block? And that's it. That's the race. DeathPercepshun takes the first place position. That was an amazing race. I don't even know how. Like, it just seems like it goes way too fast. Let's see if we can jump to Emerald real quick before he finishes. I would love it, Rockstar, if you can get the endings to really roll into place here. And that way we can go 1, 2, 3 right after the other. So there we go. Wow, that was quick. When they want to finish, they want to finish. So this is going to be interesting for points-wise. Here's DeathPercepshun, who has never had a point before. Montana, who comes in third. Second, RPM and SAS. I know that RPM got a ding for going over the trackside at least twice. But that's the thing is it didn't really stop him from doing anything. Montana's still getting the third, but got best there. And then Ricky Bobby coming out with the best lap won't help him too much, but that'll be good. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to see you guys next week. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you then. Bye.